So I finally broke down and started watching some other people's tutorials, and just as I suspected, it turned out to be an awful idea, and I went through a lot of turmoil and psychological stress and pain because I really just can't seem to learn from other people. I can only learn from the voices inside my head and many, many, many mistakes. But I did happen upon this one video, this young lady who's pretty popular. Some of you might have heard of her. She's, can't remember her name. It's something like Oxford Crafts or something. But she did this very simple wrap, and I tried to do it, and it was a little bit too loose for me, so I had to modify it. And then I didn't like that. I had to modify it again, and I didn't like that. I had to modify it again. So here's my first attempt. I pulled it off the stone, but basically it ends up looking like an insect with very long antennae. Where are you going? Let me touch you with my long feelers. And then I tried it again, and it ended up looking like a lady nagging, like very upset about the mess in her kitchen. Says, Henry, what are you doing? Get off the couch, Henry. What do these dishes? What? Help me with this house. Henry, turn the television off. What are you doing? So I finally came up with a pattern that works, and this is basically it. Now, it really doesn't look anything like what I learned from Oxygen Crafts, but she really helped me get going, you know, because I saw her video and I tried it. It didn't work for me, so then I tried something else and that didn't work for me. I tried something else, and eventually I came up with something that was at least different than what I normally do, and fun, and it has elements of the video from Oxtail Crafts. So then I tried this one, and that was more my style, but actually this one is not even that tight. It's like, see, a little bit loose too. This one is like really tight. Now the only problem with this is, here's the cabochon. Cabochon means like a rounded stone that's flat on the bottom, but so it's made for jewelry setting. It has no hole. It's here's a better example. It's very, very smooth and slippery, round, flat on the bottom, round on the top. So, you know, it requires a different kind of wrapping than if you had a nice hole to anchor it to. A little more challenging, but that's what makes it fun. So this is what I finally came out with, except on the front I have the ugly part. It looks basically like some kind of fish with goggles swimming around. The pretty part ended up on the back. I like this. It's simple, it's neat, it looks a little bit like a Celtic, and it's got a nice bail with a nice twist. It's very strong, very firm. So if I could just flip that without messing it up, so we're going to see if we can do that. Let's pick one of these pretty cabochons. And thank you, Oxycotton Crafts, for your, you know, at least getting me started on this idea. This is a nice simple one. I'll go with nice olive green. Go well with the copper. All right, it's a pretty stone. It's going to blend into the table a little bit, but you guys can see it. Okay, so get this about, I'm going to say get about 2 whole feet, 24 inches, and cut it. This is 20 gauge. She used 20 gauge just like I do. So I was like, oh, I felt this sudden kinship with Oxford Crafts. All right. And again, and she also put the 2 ends together to find the middle of the wire. And I was like, oh, I like this channel already. And so here's from there it all ends, because then I started doing my own weird stuff. So decide what part is the middle. I mean, which part is the top of the stone? I'm rambling now. I feel like this is the top here. So now flip it over, and we're gonna start on the back, start on the bottom, start without a loop. This is all new for me. And we're gonna come across here. Now it's gonna keep slipping. It's gonna keep wanting to slip. You wanna try to keep it across the bottom 20% of the stone, kind of like it has a little seatbelt. Flatten that, hold it tight. And come around the front. See, it slips all over the place. So you got to really be firm with it. Cross your wires over and get them right across the same part, about 20% up. And oh, I just like to twist in one direction. It doesn't matter which direction you twist it. That's why I'm moving those around. All right, so we're going to hold it, and this is where you have to really hold it firm. Like I have a finger down here. I have 3 fingers around here. I'm pressing. Make your little fingers like little teeny tiny vice grips all over the place. And then come down here. We're going to pinch these and twist. 1 twist. And look, everything starts moving again. Just press it back. 2 twists. It's getting tighter, but it's trying to slip away. 3. We're going to do about 5. 4. It's harder for me too because these little long strands are coming out and grabbing the camera. All right. I think that's 5. Is that 4 or 5? I don't know. We'll do one more just to be safe. And then press that flat. And see, it pops right out. Push it back. Tell it who's boss. Push it back. Press it. Stay. Take your fingernail and go like that if you need to. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. You can curve it up. Stay. All right? Now we're going to come across. Do the same thing right here. This is really a very simple wrap. I'm just going really slow because I'm emphasizing how it wants to slide all over the place and you want to keep pushing it back. See, as I'm twisting it, see how it tries to come up like that? No. Bad. Bad. Go back. Back. This is what we want, okay? And this is what we want on this side. You could actually come up a little higher. That you would really want it closer to the same amount of the stone as you have down there. But that's okay. I already did this and we'll just keep going with it. So we'll go more, twist, twist. Now we're going to keep twisting it. We're going to twist it all the way for about 2 whole inches because this is going to be used to make the bail. To get your twist even, try to keep these 2 strands at like a perfect square, a perfect right angle, but also coming out in the same angle from this part, if that makes any sense. You geometry specialists can explain to me what I'm trying to say. Keep going. Okay, we have about 1.5 to 2 inches. It's about 4 centimeters. Now we're going to fold this up and we're going to start to bend it into the bail. You can do this with your fingertip, with your nail. You can use round nose pliers. If you go slow, you can really do it with your finger. It's really not that hard. But if you find that certain parts want to just make a sharp corner, you can take your flat nose and really bend that corner out. You don't even need your round nose. You can do this with little tiny turns with your finger and with your, see how I'm like evening it out and making it round as I come around. And so eventually you want it to be like this. Okay? And these 2 are coming down. Do you see? Do you see? Now we're going to pull it up over the top a little bit, just like that. Pinch it a little bit over the top. You don't have to do this part, but it makes the next part a little easier. All right, now these 2 arms are each going to come down and grab onto the seatbelt. They're just going to swoop down and grab the seatbelt. So arm number 1, get in there. Now if you made it really tight, now you're going to have to pull it back up again. It's like you made it harder on yourself, but it's still important to have it tight. So pull that up so you can get that under. Okay, got it under? Now if you have nice smooth copper, you can just pull the loop through. Whoop, and it makes a nice loop. If you have that harsh silver that kinks, you might need to play with it a little. You might get a kink in there stuck, but you can do it. I believe in you. Pull it till you have just a nice loop like that. And then, oops, get him out of the way. And then come around like that. Okay? Right to the side of the stone. We're going to do the same thing with this guy. We're going to loop him through. Now it's easier to get under there. With this, pull it. Pull it. Pull it. So we have 2 of these loops. Right? So it looks like a goofy fish with goggles. Like an angry, sinister fish just swimming around. And not only that, but now it has arms. A sinister fish with long arms to get you. Don't go back in the ocean. You're not going to want to after watching this video. All right, I'm just going to push that back a little bit more towards the front. Straighten it out. Okay, are you ready? Now we're bending these across from the middle side of the stone. And they're just going to come up like arms do, and they're going to wrap across his chest. Now we're pretending this is the front of the guy again. Wrap across the chest. And wrap across the bail. Bam. That's it. Try to make that a nice, even, smooth curve. Your first few might be wonky, just make a bunch. But now we're just going to scarf the bail. We're going to wrap this around and around like it's a scarf. And go about half, if you're using both strands, go halfway up as far as you want to go. And then that's good. Then cut it. I'll go one more. Cut it halfway across the loop. Carefully, don't cut anything else. And then take this little tab, fold it in. See how you made a little bowl there? Fold it into the bowl and then tuck it down. And if it's getting stuck and you can't tuck it in, snip it a tiny bit more, like at 0.5 millimeter even if you need. So those little tiny amounts mean quite a bit. All right, press everything all around, make sure it's all tight. Come across with the next arm, like this. See how that makes like a cool pattern? And again, we're gonna come across, let's start at the bottom, get it really tight. We're pressing everything too as we're going. Get really tight. And then we're gonna come across and start stacking some more onto this bail. And stop when you're high enough that you feel it looks really pretty, which that's just a personal, whatever that might be for you. It doesn't have to be as high up as mine. I like going about halfway up usually. Cut enough just for the tab. Tuck in the tab. First pinch it towards the middle of the bowl and then reposition and pinch it down in the bowl. Sometimes you can even put the plier parts together and just stab it. But that's it. That's the whole piece. And I put it down like this and press it against the table. This kind of pulls the bail forward a little bit. Check all your loops, make sure they're good. Feel it, make sure it's tight, pull on it. Make sure everything is tight. If you feel like anything is kind of loose or wonky or you want to make it even tighter, come down here and put little crimps. You go straight down perpendicular to the stone, hold it, grab it real tight and just twist. And just putting little crimps here and there. You see that makes this look uglier, but it's on the back, so it doesn't matter. No one's going to see it. So now it looks like a little bit of a special fish. He's a little bit special. He rode the special bus. But the front, make sure the front didn't get pulled out of where it was. The front, you want this kind of evenly spaced. And if it's not perfect, mine isn't perfect. That's not coming straight up. It's a little diagonal. But I can adjust it. And if I can't adjust it, that's okay. It's still good. Cute, right? Now give yourself a nice cool chain or a cool nut cord, and we are done.